Okay, so this week is um, week 5, and I'm also going to go over week 6, so you're not waiting on me for the last of the assignments for this course. Can't believe it's already time to be winding things down, but that's great for everybody, right? One more class marked off your bucket list. So topic 5.1, we are going to work with short-run economic fluctuations. This is going to be talking about aggregate supply again and aggregate demand and its effects on macroeconomics. The Keynesian model and the classical model, those are all very important items that you want to look into. Definitely go to the additional resources called How to Survive Stagflation, because stagflation is actually going to be part of your discussion topic for part 1. The prompt is that during periods of stagflation, what happens to output and prices in the economy? And I would like for you to provide some examples. So what is stagflation? We have seen stagflation during periods of our historical economy. The worst time that this was probably seen was in the 1970s with President Nixon. And what this is a stagnation, it's stagnant economy growth, it's stagnant high employment, and it's high inflation as well. So all of these components come together and kind of make that perfect storm. In a normal economy, we want slow growth, and this slow growth will then prevent inflation. But if something like an embargo, there was an oil embargo in the 1970s. That's what triggered the stagnant economy, the high employment, that high inflation, all those coming together. And we don't want that. This stagflation is not, it is not healthy for our economy. So what happens to output prices in the economy? And then show some examples with that. I've also provided some information about why stagflation probably won't reoccur. This is kind of a good read, but I'm not 100% on board with this. I do feel that we will see a stagflation. Luckily, our government officials tend to help, our economists tend to help us stay out of this situation. But with pandemics that come up, that's definitely something that could trigger stagflation or other situations in our economy. For Applied 5.1, you're going to be looking at aggregate demand. And think about, maybe not your city, like my city's got 250 people, so it's kind of hard, but maybe think about your geographical area. And you're going to be hired as a consultant to evaluate the increase in aggregate demand in the city. So I want you to choose one aggregate demand and supply factor that would have the greatest impact on the economy of your city, community, whatever you choose, and then provide a rationale and possible data for your response. So some examples that I come up with is like the state fair comes to town. Prices for hotels are going to increase because of the fluctuation in population, and they become scarce, so the prices go up. Super Bowl weekend, flights go up. So it's hard to travel during these large national events because the market has been saturated with people trying to go to the Super Bowl. That is a 1 to 2 page paper for you to complete as the mayor of your community. Topic 5.2, this is chapter 34. And you are going to be looking at the influence of monetary and fiscal policy of aggregate demand. We are going to look at crowding out. You want to read that, go through that website for sure. The monetary and fiscal policy, you're going to want to watch that video as well. It's a very helpful one. And there's another, another video about crowding out as well. So what is crowding out? The crowding out and multiplier effect theories. These are two approaches to government intervention for our economy. And both of these have some relation, but often they are um, to complete different approaches. But the goal is to stimulate the economy. So what does it mean, and how do they relate to each other? Maybe think of a Venn diagram, pros, cons, and how they work together. And again, I have information here. You can look at that after you post your reply, and then you can use my replies as well in your discussion topics if you want. So you can reply back on mine. This will be the last week that you do the fiscal ship game, but keep in mind, all of the fiscal ship responses that you have are then going to come to head at the final project. Okay, so I'll touch on that in just a moment. So remember to summarize and to reflect on your goals, and then what choices did you choose and did you not want to repeat? Did you have to reevaluate your initial viewpoint? And remember to keep this as a fluid document so everything's in one place when you go to do your final project. So let's look at week 6. Obviously, you're going to have an evaluation as well. We always do. Okay, week 6. There's not a lot to do because you're going to be writing this paper over saving the world, and you're going to use your fiscal ship information in order to write this final paper. Before you do that, there is a stocks and bonds discussion. Some people will argue, you want to buy stocks, and then other people will argue, you want to buy bonds. Stocks and bonds are both important, and you should probably take part in both of them so that you can have a diversified portfolio. Stocks are going to add risk to that portfolio, but it gives potentially higher gains in a quicker amount of time. Bonds are going to help prevent those major losses, so they kind of offset each other, and it gives you more of a fluid or a proportional portfolio. So what is a stock? What is a bond? Give some examples, and which investment do you feel is better and why? If they are equally the same, that's fine as well. I put information in here that you can comment on after you post your initial reply as well. All right, then you're going to have your assignment. You need to click on the link and it will open up a PowerPoint. You can also download it and open it separately. I'm going to do that so you can see the screen easier. It's called Save the World. The first several slides are actually going to be informational. It has some background information, additional resources and sites, information for your macroeconomic final paper. So slides 1 through 9 is going to be background information. Then there are going to be on slide 10 some important issues for government goals. No, it's slide 11. One off. These are the goals. You need to think about which ones are important to you. So you're going to pick 3 from this. Choose the options. And then you're going to save the world. We've done the fiscal ship. We've done all 5 weeks of the fiscal ship. And now that after you've played it, I want you to think about these 5 different topics. How difficult was it to pursue your goals while also hitting the debt target? Which of your goals were most difficult to achieve? Which of your policy choices had the largest impact on your fiscal target? Which barely moved the line? Were you surprised by the magnitude of any policy choices? Thirdly, what do you think the political obstacles would be to hitting the debt target? Fourth, what do you think would be the impact on the American middle class of the choices you made? And lastly, did the game make you reevaluate your initial governing goals? So then if you need to go back to the fiscal ship, you can through this PowerPoint as well. And lastly, for your paper, like policymakers, you must evaluate your own values and priorities and decide on governing goals. You're going to use the 3 goals that you selected as important for government and why you selected them. Then give us a long range and short range changes to assist in decreasing debt or increasing funding. So this is what you're going to finalize your fiscal ship or your financial ship. to finish up the course. Then there'll be an evaluation for you to do just on the reading for this week 6 as well. Always use the rubrics and guidelines. The final project you apply is 170 points, and that was a 3 to 4 page paper. And you also need to include a cover page, obviously an intro, body, conclusion, and your reference pages as well. And then lastly, don't forget to do the end of course evaluation for me as well for some feedback. I would really appreciate that as well. That is all I have for you. Your key term is good luck and farewell. I'm proud of all of you. You've done a great job in this course. And if you ever need anything, feel free to reach out to me and I will do my best to help out. Good luck to everybody.